Hello and welcome to a series of presentation on PRINCE2 and the key elements that are required for you to understand to pass the foundation and/or your practitioner exam. My name is Rajiv Khanna and I'm the Managing Director of an accredited PRINCE2 training organisation in the United Kingdom. What we hope by watching these presentations, you will be able to increase your learning to what you have learnt in the classroom. Because what we do not believe, you could truly learn project management using computer-based training. So by attending your classroom training, you will have a good understanding on how to use the key principles of PRINCE2. But when you go home or before the course, you can listen to these presentations in your own time to aid your learning. So before you come to the course, you may have received pre-course material from us and/or received a copy of the PRINCE2 manual. What is really PRINCE2? PRINCE2 is simply a method on how to manage projects. It's an international framework of managing projects. So what you need to do is for each organization is to develop your own approach to project management. Because the method needs to be applied for each organization. No organization is the same, no projects are the same. So when you come to our course, you'll be given certain terminology that are mentioned within the PRINCE2 manual. So for example, a routine progress report that goes from the project manager to the project board within the context of PRINCE2 is called a highlight report, i.e. you're simply reporting the key highlights to project board members who are generally the senior managers in our organization. Some organizations, however, call them flash reports, some call them progress reports, and some call them RAG reports, i.e. red, amber, green. What we believe is when the organizations develop their own approach to project management, we should, where possible, use the PRINCE2 terminology. Because that is the language that is now being used in several countries. Because PRINCE2 is being trained, being used in over 200 countries in the world. In which case, why do we need to develop a terminology that is not understandable by a number of people? When you go back to your workplace, what we encourage you to do is to try and see if you can put this terminology into practice. You may not be in any position to do so because of where you stand in the organization, but we hope you can go and encourage your senior managers to try and adapt the terminology. Because what we find in some organizations is senior managers saying, we do not use PRINCE2. In other organizations, they say we use PRINCE2. Now, this is quite confusing. When we say we do not use PRINCE2, we're not really aware what they mean by that. Is it that they do not have a structured approach to project management, or they do not use the PRINCE2 terminology? When they say they use PRINCE2, that again can be misleading, because some perception people have is PRINCE2 is simply about document filling. And if we've got a project initiation documentation in place, we are using PRINCE2. So hopefully when you come to our course, you'll come to see PRINCE2 is a method. It is not about templates. It is not about being slave to PRINCE2. It's how we use the method. In our opinion, PRINCE2 is simply common sense. But it's common sense in a formalized way, so that all members of the organization are using the same approach. The other thing you may be feeling is, I have never managed a project before. Well, projects are what we talk about in workplace, but actually, in our opinion, Some of the major projects you may have managed, for example, is organizing your own wedding. That is a very complex and a high-risk project. So if you have worked and you've organized your own wedding, then in our opinion, you have got good experience of managing projects. Business as usual, for example, is cooking food for your members of the family. However, a party that you organize is a project. Now, when you go away and you see all the method during the training, you will feel that this is very top-heavy. The key thing we always say is please look at the level of risk. The riskier the project we have, the more planning you would need to do. So for example, if you organize a dinner party for members of your family and friends, the level of risk is lower because if the food is an hour late, it may not be a problem. You probably sit around and have a little chat and a small drink and talk more with your colleagues and friends. On the other hand, if you've got some significant people like your potential boss coming to your house for a party, now the level of risk has suddenly gone up, in which case you have to do greater planning. So during the training, you will come across several documentations. We do not believe you need to apply every document to every project. Even if you did apply every document to every project, you still cannot guarantee success. So what we believe is by applying the method appropriately, we're going to increase our chances of success and minimize the level of risk. So I hope by attending our training courses and watching these presentations, you get a very good understanding of the key elements of PRINCE2 that help you apply them to your future projects, but of course also to help you pass the examination. If there are areas that you feel we can improve on the presentations, then please do not hesitate to contact us. So thank you very much and hope you enjoy the presentations.